We're back.
We
Welcome.
back.
Like, subscribe, comment below, leave a hype in the video if you're on mobile. Comment. I want you to comment the entirety of the Art of War. So do that. That'll take a while. I'm not talking about copy and paste. Individually type that bitch out. The Art of War by a man whose name I cannot pronounce. And let's just jump into it. The show opens with CM Punk. He's making his entrance when he's attacked from behind by Roman and Mox. They beat him up across ringside until we have security come out and separate everyone. They get them separated and everything seems like it's going to be fine when Punk breaks free and runs to Roman again. I then have to come out and say, okay, this is enough. Punk, if you want to fight tonight, you could face Mox again later on. The crowd cheers, and once again they break free, and then they fight each other, and we finally get them separated, and they get sent to the back. And Pete Dunne issues another open challenge. Roddy is back, and he's answering the open challenge. During the match, you could tell the weeks of putting the title on the line have taken a toll on Dunne, as he's slower than usual. You can also tell that Roddy has had time to study film of Pete. He's countering a lot of moves. And in the end, Pete Dunne falls to Roddy. Roddy wins the Intercontinental Championship back. And then we cut to commercial. Three-time Intercontinental Champion Roger Strong. We come back from a commercial to the Undisputed Era celebrating the win. They all have gold once again. Cole says, "Let's fucking go, Roddy. I told you guys. I told you this would happen. This is the first step. Complete company domination. But why stop at just getting the SmackDown titles? Why don't we go down to NXT and get those championships too? And better yet, why stop there? We go down to AAA and dominate Mexico too. Boys, the Undisputed Era is back," Roddy says. Roddy says, "I just need to get my head in the game. I had too many financial distractions, but I'm here now. A three-time Intercontinental Champion, and I'm about to hit 100 days total as champion. It is incredible. I can't believe it. Thank you, Cole, for trusting me to be here. Fellas, I'm proud of all of you, but we gotta focus. We gotta refocus. The job's not finished. Roddy, I want you out there tonight with Redragon. Let's show these dudes whose brand it is." Cole finishes as we hear commotion happening outside the locker room, and then we cut to it. We see Roman and Punk still going at it, and security is saying they need more help. So we see a bunch of superstars come in to try to separate them. We even see Carmelo in there, but he's not there to separate them like everyone else. We see him throw some punches at Roman that no one sees. But by the look of on his face, Roman can feel it. We finally get them separated enough, and Melo leaves before he can get in trouble. We cut to commercial, come back to this match. Toward the end, we see Jordan Grace going for the Grace driver. Lola jumps on the apron to distract the ref. Uh, Jordan Jordan hits the Grace driver. Stephanie gets in the ring and hits an SVB on Jordan. She leaves the ring. Bailey gets up and hits a Bailey to belly and goes for the cover. One, two, three. At Fastlane, it will be a one-on-one match. Bailey versus Roxanne for the Women's World Championship as Jordan failed to be added to the match. We cut backstage and we see once again Roman and Punk have found a way to fight each other. This time we get even more superstars to separate them. Mello is there once again. This time he's punching Punk, and we finally see them separated. I come in and tell them to drag Punk to his locker room. Once he is taken there, I go to Roman and tell him that he is being sent home for the rest of the night, and we can't deal with all of this chaos that they are causing. So Mox is gonna have to win this match by himself tonight. Finn is we get this match. Finn is ringside for JD and Shin, but so is Roddy. Finn and Roddy are constantly getting in each other's faces. You can hear Roddy telling Finn that he's the better IC champion than Finn ever was. Finn says that he never lost it as much as Roddy did, and he held it for way longer. They eventually start brawling on the outside. This distracts the ref as JD hits a devil inside onto Kyle. He goes for the cover, but the ref is distracted. The crowd counts to 10 before the ref turns around and he finally counts one kick out. JD is arguing with the ref, telling him he can't be distracted like that. And it eventually leads to Redragon hitting JD with their finisher, and Redragon get the win. I then call out Nia Jax, Bliss, and Becky to the ring for a chat. I say that this is all getting out of hand, and since Raw has already been chaotic, I want to get ahead of this. So here's the deal. Next week, we have Nia Jax versus Alexa Bliss versus Becky Lynch for the Women's U.S. Championship. They all agree that this is the only thing to do, and of course, this doesn't go the way I want it to, and it all ends in a massive brawl with me telling security to come out, but they don't get out fast enough. Naya sees me calling them and tries to take me out before they could come. She hits me with a clothesline and then an annihilator as they brawl throughout the ringside area. All right, and then we get this match, CM Punk versus Mox. CM Punk comes out into this match all messed up from the brawls earlier, but he comes in and gets the job done. Punk wins again. Uh, but just because the bell rang doesn't mean he's done. He continues to beat down on Mox. He ends up getting a chair and gives him a shot to the head, and then gets another chair and hits him with a concerto. The medics have to come out to take Mox away. The whole time, Punk is yelling at the camera, "You did this, Roman. This is on you, not me. You just had to keep running from me, didn't you? And now you're all alone again. This needs to end now." And then we cut. Bianca and Jada are in my office. I don't know how I'm still alive. I'm very hurt, getting looked at by medical. And I say that they got close last week, now uh, but now we need to see what's next for them. I say, how about going back to names that have beaten you before? How about you take on the Bellas again to prove that you really are better than you were a few weeks ago? Bianca and Jada agree that they are ready this time around, and so we settle it. They'll be back in the ring next week. And Randy Orton is backstage giving an interview when he says, "Look, I don't know what mind games the Undisputed Era are playing, but this has to stop. I'm getting calls to my house. My children are answering the phone, and there's no one speaking on the other end. They're just breathing. And then I got this text message the other day." Randy puts his phone to the camera, and the text reads, "Your time is running out. You better watch your back." What the hell is this, Cole? You think you can scare me? Well, news flash. You've only pissed me off more. Scaring my kids has brought out the killer in me. You're a dead man at Fastlane. So start getting your funeral arrangements ready. You're going to need them. Randy starts leaving when a man in a masked hoodie comes in and attacks him with a chair. He starts laying heavy into him. After a while, he leaves. Randy starts getting back up. He's holding his arm in pain. As soon as he's fully up, a golf cart comes in at full speed and hits him. Randy goes flying across the pavement. The masked man isn't done. Randy starts getting on all fours. The masked man rushes him and hits him with a punt kick. Security finally starts coming in when the man gets into the golf cart and runs away, or drives away, I should say. We then see Randy get taken away in an ambulance. Uh-oh, Randy. Then we get the main event. Before the match starts, I come out and say whoever wins this match will get to choose what number they enter the Iron Survivor match. Then we get a banger main event, a preview of what we will see at Fastlane. And it ends when Julia is able to hit a Northern Lights bomb onto Chelsea. and she covers Chelsea for the win. Julia wins. She gets to pick what number she enters the Iron Survivor challenge, and that is Raw.
Welcome to SmackDown. It's the March Week 1 episode. This is the penultimate episode leading into Fastlane. We've already told you what to do at the start of the video, so let's just move into tonight's show. Cody Rhodes opens the show and speaks about being away these past few weeks. Cody says, he strives so hard to get back to where he felt he belonged, and in a blink of an eye, it all went away. But just because I don't have the gold on my shoulder right now doesn't mean I can't have it again in the near future. Speaking of the near future, we have the Iron Survivor match here in a couple of weeks at Fastlane. Two of the three spots have already been filled by my friend Kevin Owens and my past rival in Swerve Strickland. That third spot is up for grabs tonight, and at this point, Drew McIntyre's music hits. Drew comes out and tells Cody, I know the show just started, but I'm already getting bored of your, oh, I'm going to accomplish my dream bullcrap. Because you might be in that triple threat later tonight, but so am I. So if you want to have that shot, you have to go through me. Cody kind of restrains himself a little bit and then says, Drew, you're right. If I want to earn that shot at the Iron Survivor, I have to go through you. But I need you to understand that's a two-way street, and if you want any shot at being in that match, then you have to get through me. And Drew, I don't think you have it in you to put up that much of a fight. Then they share an intense stare down as the cameras fade to commercial. We come back. Jade Cargill comes out for a weekly open challenge for the women's IC belt. Kairi Sane answers the call this week. Towards the end of the match, we see Jade getting Kairi up when all of a sudden a masked individual comes down to the ringside area. Jade sees this and heads outside to confront them. They start backing away when Chemical X and Charlotte come down to the ring. They chase the masked individual through the crowd. Kairi then drops Jade as soon as she gets back into the ring. Kairi heads up top for the insane elbow. Right before she jumps off, Asuka comes out from under the ring, gets up on the apron, and shoves Kairi off the top rope. The referee wasn't watching as they were checking on Jade. Once Kairi hits the mat, Jade gets up, picks Kairi up, and hits her with Jaded. Jade then covers Kairi 1, 2, 3 to retain her women's IC title. Charlotte and Chemical X continue to chase the masked individual into the parking garage following the match. The masked individual gets into a car and quickly drives off. Charlotte then gets all of Chemical X into a car and they give chase. As the masked individual's car drives away, something flutters out of the car. The cameras don't really focus on it, so it's hard to tell what it was. And the segment ends with Charlotte and Chemical X driving after the masked individual. Uh, Ethan Page is in Gorilla getting prepared for his match against Montez Ford, and AJ comes up and slaps him on the back. Ethan noticeably winces in pain, and AJ says, Oh, are you still sore? Ethan looks at AJ and says, Obviously. So if you could please just let me be. I have a match coming up next. AJ says he was just here to wish Page luck. He only has this match and then one more next week, and the Phenomenal Egos can ride off into the sunset as the greatest tag team of all time. Ethan is kind of dismissive about this and says, AJ, please, just let me get into the right headspace for this match. AJ says, okay, and walks away. We then head down to the ring for Ethan Page versus Montez Ford. Ethan Page tries his best throughout the match and at times comes close to stealing a pinfall, but the constant matches he's had has finally taken its toll on Ethan, and Montez is able to hit a frog splash and pick up the win, signifying possibly the end of the Phenomenal Egos. Down a bit. Mercedes and Team Bad enter Big E's office and are shortly followed by AJ Lee and Cora Jade. Big E says, Okay, I brought you all here to find out what the special stipulation for the women's match at Fastlane is. Mercedes says, Well, you see, at the Royal Rumble, I felt like AJ getting to the ropes to break up my bank statement was the only reason she's standing here with that title around her waist. So I was thinking if we had a no holds barred match where the rope breaks didn't matter, then I could pick up the win. Cora then chimes in and says, Well, that's just a barbaric idea. Why not just do something as simple as like a submission match? Both of you have dangerous submission finishers. Why not take the pinfall out of the match and see who has the better submission? Biggie says he likes both ideas, and instead of him deciding what match they go, let's let Corey and Mercedes decide. Next week, you two will go one on one. Whoever gets the win gets their match stipulation. Mercedes seems frustrated and then calms herself and says, "You know what, Cora? I know everything about you already, so it won't be a challenge to beat you again and get what I want." Mercedes and Team Bad then leave. We then see Solo Sikoa has an interview with the rest of Bloodline Wolfpack. Solo says, "Look, tonight is a big night for my family. Up next, we get to see Jacob Fatu in action against Omos. Now, Omos may be a big guy, but there's not a whole lot going on in his head. So trust me in saying that Jacob will have no problem taking him down. Then later tonight, I have my chance at getting into the men's Iron Survivor match. Now, we already know that Drew and Cody have their history with one another, so instead of feeling like I have to destroy everyone, I'm just going to use my brains and my patience and pick up the pieces where they fall. But that's later tonight. Right now, we get to see a werewolf topple a mountain." And then Jacob Fatu heads down to the ring to face Omos. Towards the end of the match, we see Omos pick Jacob Fatu up for the choke bomb when Ricky Saints rushes down to the ring with a chair and nails Omos, causes a DQ. Omos turns his attention to Ricky and picks him up when Jacob grabs the chair and nails Omos in the back again. Both men then get rid of Omos, but this time Jacob attacks Ricky from behind, and Jacob is the one standing tall. So Omos wins via DQ. We then see Jade Cargo go into Biggie's office to say, "Please tell me you have some more information on who the masked person is." Biggie says, "Look, there was there was not a whole lot of information. We're still looking into it at this moment, and we're still looking into it at this moment." Jay says, "Well, you better come to a conclusion fast, because if I see that masked person again, they're going to have some serious problems." Jay then walks out of the office. Sami Zayn is getting ready for his match when Seth Rollins confronts him. Sami says, "Seth, I don't want to talk to you. We have a match coming up, and I'd rather just see you in that ring." Seth says, "Sami, come on, man. We don't have to rip each other apart for understanding." Sami looks at Seth and says, "You don't get it, do you? Look, that qualifier might have been my last shot at making it to WrestleMania this year, and you got in my way. You cost me that shot. Now what am I supposed to tell my family, huh? Sorry, Daddy isn't good enough to get to WrestleMania? So whether you like it or not, we are going down to that ring and we're going to fight." At this point, Sami's music starts playing, and they share a brief stare down before Sami heads down to the ring. We then have Sami versus Seth Rollins. Towards the end of the match, we see the referee get knocked down. Sami and Seth continue to fight until Swerve comes down and heads up top. He jumps off for a crossbody, aiming for Seth, but Seth pulls Sami into the way, and Sami takes all of it. As Swerve is getting up, Seth curb stomps him. He then turns his focus to Sami and curb stomps him. He then covers Sami, and the referee slowly comes to consciousness and slowly counts to 3 as Seth Rollins picks up the win. Uh, we then see Kairi Sane is furious backstage about what happened earlier tonight with the women's IC title match. Dakota comes up to her and tries to console Kairi, but Kairi just lashes out and says, "This is all your fault." She then pushes past Dakota and storms off. She gets confronted by Io and just shoves Io into a wall and continues to storm off down the hall. We then move into the main event tonight between Drew McIntyre, Solo Sikoa, and Cody Rhodes. Drew McIntyre picks up the win, earning the last spot into the Iron Survivor match. Following this match, we see cameras follow Jade as she is leaving through the parking garage when she stops and picks up a black feather in the parking lot. She looks at it for a moment and to close out SmackDown.
Ain't that SmackDown?
And that is SmackDown.
At least I didn't have to sit through a Ricky Saints match.
Man's gonna have to sit through a whole match come Fastlane.
Fuck! I'm not gonna be paying attention.
It's a damn shame.
Oh.